would underline our complete commitment to the space domain, to the hardening of the space domain, to prevention of escalations in the space domain, but most importantly, to the dominance of the space domain. I mean, that is...
Welcome back to React America, the home of common sense, strong borders, and unshakable belief in American greatness. If you're tired of mainstream spin, globalist distractions, this is your refuge. Before we begin, do me a patriotic favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. We bring you what others won't, loud, clear, and unfiltered. Ready? Strap in. Today, we journey from Capitol Hill to low Earth orbit to expose a Russian plot that could slam civilization back to the pre-GPS era, and how America, led by Donald Trump, is gearing up to stop it.
Chair, now recognized gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Turner.
Mr. Secretary, thank you for your written statement, and also thank you for your recognition of the importance of our nuclear deterrent, and specifically our investment in our modernization of our nuclear deterrent. We are behind, as you know, in the modernization of our nuclear stockpile. Your recognition of our investment in our triad and our command and control is incredibly important. Thank you also for your recognition of the importance of our future investment in missile defense and the importance that Golden Dome will play.
Representative Mike Turner called out the elephant in the room. Our nuclear deterrent has been aging in bureaucratic silence. Decades of underfunding and political red tape left us vulnerable. Folks, while we were arguing over pronouns and TikTok dances, China and Russia were building. Now we're playing catch-up. President Trump saw it early. He pushed for modernization, investment, and a renewed nuclear triad. The left mocked him, said he was warmongering. Turns out he was very right. Again.
The Secretary General of NATO has recently made statements of his concern of Russia's future attempt to place an anti-satellite nuclear weapon into space. Specifically, he has said, "We are aware of reports that Russia is examining the possibility of placing nuclear weapons in space. This is very worrying. Space is also very important for our deterrence and defense, just as important as land, sea, air, and cyberspace. In recent years, space has become increasingly clouded, dangerous, and unpredictable."
General Saltzman from the U.S. Space Force didn't mince words. He said if Russia launches that nuke into orbit, that's day zero. Not a warning shot. A reset of modern life. Satellites don't just beam Netflix. They guide our nukes. They monitor threats and power our military. Take that away, we need trillions to rebuild. And here's the kicker. We don't even have the tech yet to replace everything we lose. Think of that. One detonation, and we're back to maps and flashlights.
We know that competition in space is fierce. I recently had the opportunity to speak to him. He was at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in my community as we were commemorating the 30th anniversary of the peace accords. His concern was that this is not getting worldwide enough of attention. We had General Saltzman recently in front of the committee. He has characterized that if Russia were to place an anti-satellite nuclear weapon into space, that would be day zero, that if that was put in space, that next day, that it would be irresponsible for us to count on space, that we would have to spend trillions of dollars and seek technology that we don't have to find solutions as an alternative to space, both commercially, for military, in really to redo what is really society today.
Some will say, but we have treaties. Yes, we do. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 bans weapons of mass destruction. In orbit, Representative Turner knows this too. That's why he pushed the Defense Secretary for clarity. Treaties are only as strong as the men willing to enforce them.
As you know, it would affect both our nuclear deterrence, our efforts for missile defense, even our investments in Golden Dome. In this venue, obviously, we can't discuss all of the details of what we're doing, but I would ask if you would please confirm that this is a threat that is a priority to the Department of Defense, as it has been characterized by the Secretary General of NATO, and acknowledge that as it is a priority for us to prevent the deployment of nuclear weapons in space, and that it is a priority for us to work with our allies to uphold our commitment to the Outer Space Nuclear Treaty that prohibits the deployment of nuclear weapons in space. Sir.
Remember when the media laughed at the Space Force? Said it was a joke? Said Trump was being theatrical? Well, nobody's laughing now, not in the Pentagon, not at NATO, and definitely not in Moscow. The Space Force is the first line of defense in this new arena. They track threats, defend satellites, and ensure America can see and strike anywhere on Earth at any time. Once again, Donald Trump looked around the corner. And once again, the ruling class mocked what they didn't understand.
Thank you for the question, sir. As you alluded to, there are a number of aspects to this question or answer that can't be discussed here, but I would underline our complete commitment to the space domain, to the hardening of the space domain, to prevention of escalations in the space domain, but most importantly, to the dominance of the space domain. I mean, that is, it is the future of how we see, it's the future of how we sense, it could be the future of how our adversaries fight and how we deal with that. So I think President Trump, yet again, was ahead of the curve when he created the Space Force in his first administration. People said we didn't need it. We are relying on it every single day now to ensure, alongside the Space Force and private enterprise.
Here's what sets America apart. Our innovators, our builders, our Elon Musks, our private sector is launching constellations of satellites designed for resilience. Knock one out, 10 more are waiting. This is capitalism at its best. Patriotic entrepreneurs solving national security problems with private genius. Government alone can't defend orbit, but government with enterprise, that's unstoppable.
That we're delivering the capabilities we need that are resilient, that are redundant, that are capable of all aspects of all domain warfare if necessary. And preventing adversaries from gaining an advantage is a huge part of how we look at space.
This threat is not classified. Russia's threat of deploying an anti-satellite nuclear weapon in space is not classified. Obviously, this is a priority of the Department of Defense, and I just want your confirmation that this is a priority that you're tracking, and you too see that as a threat to the United States, and certainly to the United States and our space infrastructure, and certainly our whole national security infrastructure.
Let's get personal. What happens if we lose space? No GPS, no shipping logistics, no stock market algorithms. We'd face chaos at the store, in hospitals, and on Wall Street. General Saltzman said it outright. The cost would be trillions. That's not an exaggeration. And guess who pays? Not China. You do. With inflation, with job loss, with instability. This isn't just national security. It's personal security.
We track all potential escalations. Yes, sir.
And lawyer here, I just want to help you out because people try to twist your words. You are not confirming in your testimony today that at the Pentagon there are plans for invading or taking by force Greenland, correct? That is not your testimony today.
Here's the media's favorite game. Take one fake headline, run with it, and act like it's gospel. This week's example claims the Pentagon was planning to invade Greenland. You heard that right. And Turner, with a straight face, asked the secretary to clarify it under oath. It's nonsense, of course. But this is what happens when journalism turns into performance art. Let's stay focused on the real threat, not satire disguised as a scoop.
All my testimony is that the Pentagon has plans for any number of contingencies.
It is not your testimony today that there are plans at the Pentagon for taking by force or invading Greenland, correct? Because I sure as hell hope that it is not your testimony.
We look forward to working with Greenland to ensure that it is secured from any potential threats.
Excellent. I yield back.
This isn't about politics. It's about survival. America must lead in space, or someone else will. So here's your mission. Stay informed. Share this video far and wide. Stand tall. Call your representatives. Demand investment in deterrence. Stay proud. Our Constitution is the greatest framework for freedom the world has ever known, and it must extend into the stars. If you believe in strength, sovereignty, and the America that built the greatest nation on earth, then join us. Thanks for watching React America. We say what others won't, and we stand where others cave. Smash that like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more unfiltered, fact-driven truth. Stay informed, stay patriotic, and above all, stay free. Until next time, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.